Welcome back to the Bite Podcast, everyone. This is episode 7. I'm your host, Raven.
And I'm your host, Ree.
And I think we have a pretty fun episode today, but it deserves a lot of context. But before we get into that context, on the last episode, we saw that Ree opened her Christmas gift from me, but you guys didn't get to see, if you didn't watch the live, you guys didn't get to see me open the Ree's present to me. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, so one of the presents that Ree got me was so thoughtful. First of all, I really loved it. Is this world's best teacher mug? I actually should be using it right now because I have coffee.
Oh, yes.
And it has a little notepad with a pen and a little bow that's so cute. And then she got me this candle, frosted cookies, and it smells amazing. It smells like frosted cookies. And I actually just finished, I was gonna wait till I cleaned my room to finish, and I finished cleaning my room, but I needed to do my laundry. So I have yet to light it up, but when my laundry is done, and I'll probably light it up maybe like Christmas Eve, because it's a very Christmassy smell to me. So
yes,
Christmas,
that'd be really nice.
yes. And I guess, I don't know, we should talk about it now. Should we talk about the project maybe a little bit?
Ooh, we can talk about the project.
Yeah, so before we get into our topics for today, Ree and I have recently, on one of the past episodes, I had mentioned to Ree that I had started writing a book, but I had kind of stopped because, I don't know, just busy. And I recently just showed Ree the ideas for it, and we're gonna work on this book together.
Yes.
So hopefully, I mean, who knows when, 2021, 2022, possibly.
2021 could be like the whole year of just writing it, designing it, and then who knows, maybe 2022 we can look into publishing.
Yeah, so hopefully soon you will have a book by Raven and Ree.
That sounds so cool.
Imagine if on the book we put it was like the book name. I don't want to leak it yet, but the book name by the Bite Podcast.
Oh. Just gonna, do a little plug if they want to check it out.
I know. Or we could do like R and R. Since we like Raven and Ree R. I mean,
yes.
We'll see. You'll see. Soon.
Oh my god. Have pen names.
That would be amazing. Like we can, I mean, but I want to do like press tours and stuff, so maybe we shouldn't be secret.
You're right. You're right.
So today's topic, the first topic of today is Twilight characters and their SpongeBob counterparts. But this topic requires a little bit of context and backstory. We have a friend named Mare who we talk about in every episode, I think except for one where we did not talk about her.
She was very sad.
Or mention her at all. But yeah, she, I don't even know where to start. We have a big group chat with a whole bunch of our Twilight friends, and Sam is in the group chat, and you guys don't know who Sam is. We talked about her in one of the other episodes. She's
so funny.
She's amazing, and she cosplays as Bella for the Olympic Coven cosplay group, and to me they're like the official Twilight.
They're the official group, cosplay group, I believe.
They're iconic, and so she's amazing. And ever since Sam joined the group chat, Mare has always called her Kevin. So every time she joins the group chat, she goes, "Hi, Kevin." And that's like a SpongeBob reference from I'll put it up on the screen. A little clip of what that is from.
Hi, Kevin.
But yeah, so ever since she joined, Sam has been called Kevin by Mare for the longest time. And then I think at one point they started talking about who everyone was from SpongeBob in the group chat. Or I don't know.
I may have missed that combo.
I don't know if Mare said who everyone was, or if she's just called Kenzie Plankton.
Oh no, yeah. She I think it was just a random thought of Mare's day because Kenzie doesn't watch. She's not a big fan of SpongeBob, and so I think just one day Mare decided to hop in the group chat and was like, "I know what SpongeBob character Kenzie is," and then she's like Plankton. I don't think she gave anybody else a character.
No, but I feel like Mare needs to do that. Mare needs to give everyone a character.
She does.
So, I guess if Sam is Kevin and Mare always says hi Kevin, does that make Mare SpongeBob?
I would say
So Mare SpongeBob, but
she's the main character.
So that is what we had decided. I think we had decided that the last episode we have like a meeting before and we had talked about it, and then it just so happens that like literally the day that we post our podcast, Mare was doing a takeover on her TikTok where a whole bunch of us like took over her page. I think you did that she was in your closet.
Yeah, I had did her Twilight memes and I had said that Mare was in my closet.
Yeah, and then I did like a conspiracy video where
that was so funny.
I was trying to figure out where I was trying to crack the code. So that day or the day that we posted our podcast, Mare had asked Sam if she could take over her account, and Sam I forgot who came up with the idea, but someone had came up with the idea that Sam was gonna do Twilight characters and who their SpongeBob counterpart was. And then I like messaged Mare and I was like, OMG Mare. I was like, Ree and I literally like, because you inspired this topic for us. I literally said on the podcast that we were gonna do that as a topic for one of our episodes. And I was like, but that's totally cool though, because it's like whatever,
Yeah.
So we can jump right into Twilight characters and their SpongeBob counterpart. And I don't remember what she said exactly, but I do remember that she put Emmett as Patrick, and I wholeheartedly agree.
I wholeheartedly agree. Emmett is Patrick.
Emmett is Patrick. So I guess I need someone to do an edit of that, of like Emmett, like a mixture of Emmett and Patrick the Star, because I feel like that would look wild. Like imagine like just like a buff Patrick with like Emmett's hair. That's amazing. Let's look
just put him in a white t-shirt or tank top and some jeans.
True. Okay, I also think that possibly Emmett could also be Larry the Lobster.
Oh.
Because he's also kind of like
Larry the Lobster.
Like, he's like I guess Himbo. I guess Larry the Lobster is more like Himbo than I guess Patrick, because Patrick is kind of dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, here's our list of characters. They just have like the basic characters. So I'm really in between Larry the Lobster and Patrick for Emmett, because I don't know. I feel like Larry the Lobster embodies him physically, but then I feel like Patrick embodies him like mentally. So Emmett is Patrick Star, or Larry the Lobster combined.
I roll with it.
Who are we gonna give to Squidward? Who's gonna be Squidward? Squidward's very angry all the time.
Okay. Jacob.
I was gonna say, if not Jacob, then I feel like I would give Mr. Krabs and Plankton to Edward and Jacob, because they're always in a battle for Bella's love.
Yo, that makes so much more sense.
But then
okay.
Go for it.
I think because Squidward's also someone who is always like annoyed and bothered and doesn't want to be there. So then I'm like, okay, Marcus. So
Yes.
I'm like,
Squidward is Marcus. That's 100%.
Squidward is Marcus.
Okay, so that I'm gonna say if Edward is Mr. Krabs, Plankton is Jacob, Bella is the Krabby Patty secret formula.
The Krabby Patty. No. But yes, you cracked it. She has to. They're always battling for it. They want to have it, and Edward has it.
Yeah.
Yo.
Wow. That's amazing. And then Plankton has Karen, his wife. So that would probably be like Seth or something, because it's always like next, like wants to follow Jacob, you know? But Karen's also
Protector.
Karen's also a little sassy.
She is.
And in the SpongeBob musical, Karen's like super sassy.
Love that for her.
I love her. And then we have SpongeBob, and I guess people would be like, okay, main character, SpongeBob, Bella, SpongeBob. But I kind of like don't see that, because SpongeBob is also a very happy person, and Bella and outgoing, and he's not really like scared of anything. So I don't see SpongeBob as Bella. I kind of see SpongeBob only because a lot of people would say that SpongeBob's a little annoying as Jessica in the annoying.
Ooh. Yeah.
In the annoying aspect. But if we're talking about like the very cheery and bubbly, I would also say that SpongeBob could be, I have no idea, Alice maybe? Just for their...
I was gonna say Alice.
They're both pretty like outgoing and stuff.
I was also gonna maybe say Aro, because Aro is very charismatic, and especially in the book, he is. Michael Sheen kind of definitely captured a more mellow with low-key psychotic. Yeah. But like what made Aro very creepy in New Moon was he was very bubbly and like out there.
Yeah, so... I was actually gonna say that Aro is Squilliam Fancy Son.
Oh God, I'm so sorry, headphone users, but that was so funny.
He's like, I guess you automatically just like hate him, but like,
you right.
So,
I mean, did you lie?
I did not. Okay, let me go look at some more. Here's a SpongeBob list of characters on a wiki fandom. I also feel that Rosalie could be Squidward also, for her, you know, for her kind of attitude a little bit. But
yeah,
let's see. We have
who was
Sandy Cheeks Jasper.
Yeah,
we gotta give the
from
Texans to the Texans.
Yes. I think she was a mermaid from the SpongeBob movie. Yes. You know, do you remember her? Who would be her?
If we don't give Alice SpongeBob, I think Alice could be her. Yeah. She's a very graceful character. Ooh, Pearl. I could see Pearl as Rosalie.
Yeah. Oh my God,
Pearl as Rosalie. And guys, we understand if you're watching, you're like, I'm so confused. This is a Twilight podcast talking about SpongeBob characters.
But it's all,
you know.
Don't worry, we'll get to more. We're gonna get to more, but this is a little fun.
Yeah, this is like, you know, those videos that are like, I did one on Mare's account. I was like, Mare's dog as Twilight characters with little to no context. So it's like one of those.
Yes.
SpongeBob characters as Twilight characters with little to no context.
Yes.
We have Gary the snail. I mean, he's just a pet, but he's loyal.
He's loyal, he's unbothered, he a little sassy sometimes.
Mm.
I want to say Jane.
Love that. Okay, I can see that.
Because she is, well, she's unbothered for the most part, except she's bothered by Bella because she can't stand that she can't use her power with Bella. But she's sassy. She kind of just,
Yeah.
She's a silent killer.
I was going to say that.
Ooh.
Go for it.
Oh, well, I was just going to say either her or Victoria.
I was going to say that Victoria's Doodle Bob.
She is! Okay, never mind. That made more sense. She's Doodle Bob. MENOY.
Okay, we have Mrs. Puff. I want to say Mrs. Puff could be Esme, but she also rages. Mrs. Puff rages like nobody's business. But I mean, like, also, like, I feel like Esme could rage. Her motherly instinct.
Yeah. I have there was this headcanon on Tumblr a long time ago. I think it's still there. That I definitely saw and I kind of agree with. It was this headcanon AU where Esme's kind of she's very motherly and gentle and everything, but it was like I 100% think that if Esme found out that Jane and Alec were 12-year-olds, being so influenced by these older men, she would rage against Aro, beat his ass, and kidnap the twins.
100%, I agree. Okay, Marine Man and Barnacle Boy, I think, are the Russian vampires that we see in part 2. Little commercial break to say that I meant the Romanian coven, not the Russian coven. So, fact check.
Stefan and Vladimir!
Yeah.
Yes!
Okay, we have King Neptune, which I want to say... Ooh, hold on. King Neptune could easily be Charlie, and the mermaid could be Bella. Because King Neptune, the whole thing when the movie was that, like, he didn't want her to, like, do something. I'm pretty sure, I haven't seen the movie in a long time, but, so King Neptune, I think, could be Charlie, and then the mermaid, his daughter, could be Bella, also.
Gosh, what was her name? Oh,
Here, I'm scrolling through to see if maybe we could find it somewhere. Okay, we also have Harold and Margaret Squarepants. I'm gonna go ahead and say Carlisle and Esme, right?
Yeah. We said if Alice was maybe SpongeBob, then those two would probably make sense. Okay, we gotta tackle it. Who would be the hash slinging slasher?
Probably like I want to say Riley or James.
Riley. Oh, my mans.
Okay, also, so Bella, when Bella has a dream that she's old and like that she thinks it's her grandma, but it's her. Old Bella is Grandma Squarepants.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Nothing else. Nothing more. That's it. We don't gotta go into depth on that one.
Okay. We have Bubble Bass.
I gotta sneeze.
I hated Bubble Bass.
Excuse me, sorry. Sorry about that.
Bubble Bass was the overweight green bass who was reoccurring nemesis to SpongeBob in the first season. And I'm going to say that that's Caius only because I hated Bubble Bass. And
yeah,
I just don't like Caius.
Caius. I'm so sorry, Jamie Campbell Bower. Like, you are an amazing actor. You fine also, but that wig and that attitude for Caius was just not it.
Not it. Old Man Jenkins, I'm gonna go ahead and say that is Billy.
Oh my god.
Oh well. Nothing else to say.
Nothing else.
Oh my god, but we also have Dr. Gilliam, the doctor. I think literally the only doctor that we see. He's a veterinarian, but like Carlisle. I think a lot of these characters could be like several different things, you know?
Yeah, because I was also gonna say maybe what Barnacle Boy and I forget. It's been a long time.
Mermaid Man.
The people Mermaid Man and that was Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. I could also thought could be Dimitri and Felix.
I could see that too. Man Ray, I think is James.
Yes.
Oh, her name is Princess Mindy.
Oh yeah, Mindy.
Got that. I'm going through all of these characters.
Who's King Jellyfish?
Oh my goodness, King Jellyfish.
Benjamin.
Yes, that is him.
The king of all jellyfish.
I want to say also that, let's see, I'm like looking through pictures. There's a lot of SpongeBob characters because there's like all of the anchovies. I'm pretty sure the ones that are just kind of like there. I think they say like meat or something like that. That's all they say. I want to say that those are like the like the high school students of Forks or like the Forks town members because they literally don't know what's going on.
Literally.
So that's them. That's just them. Like, I guess going with the crowd.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, do you remember that? Do you remember the episode of SpongeBob where Patrick had like an older sister or like a cousin or something like that? I don't remember, but all I know is that she was really big and she had like a bikini on, and I was gonna say that is Jessica.
Yeah. I can't remember her. I don't know if that was older season or like the newest season because I kind of fell off of watching SpongeBob with like the newest seasons before because I don't know, it's not on the air anymore. They don't make any more.
I think they're making new ones, and I just don't. The graphics look different.
It's not like the original, so it's like.
Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can old SpongeBob versus new SpongeBob. Yeah, they look very different.
I remember when I saw, I mean, granted, it was like 2 years ago, so I was not going to watch it, but I remember Twitter going insane when they released the new graphic for Dora.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oof. I was like, what? That is not Dora.
It's not Dora. I'm all SpongeBob out, I think. That was like all I could think of. But oh, I'll go for it.
Oh, you know who else Caius could be?
Who?
You remember that you remember the chocolate bar episode?
Oh my gosh, yes.
With I think it was I don't know if it's the same episode with the I don't know if it was the chocolate bar episode or if it was another episode, but it was the lady in like the wheelchair and she's always grouchy. Yeah, that lady.
Okay, look, I'm watching Mare's video right now that Sam did. She said that Rosalie was the fancy Squidward. Emmett was Patrick. Alice was like a sassy Patrick.
Oh, sassy
she
Patrick.
She said that Jasper was the chocolate guy, the guy who's like obsessed with chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
Then we have Jacob was Squidward, which I think we had said, right? Edward was.
We said he was Plankton.
Well, yeah,
but
yeah, we were.
I said maybe he would be Squidward.
Bella as SpongeBob.
Bella as SpongeBob.
And then,
I mean, yeah, she is the main character.
Oh, and then she put Charlie as Gary. I love that.
I love that.
Jeez. That is hilarious. I could see Charlie as
as Gary.
I don't know. Someone commented on. I'm like looking at the comments. Someone said, "Girl, get the out of here. Bella is so toxic as. All she does is run back to Jacob when something goes wrong, and just to mess with him, and then when he starts to want her, it's a problem. So no, thank you. Jacob will never spread energy on purpose. Change my mind.
I'm guessing they're Team Jacob.
I guess so. Which I don't understand, by the way. But we talked about that last time. But we'll if you want to hear that our opinions on the Jacob situation, then tune in to our last episode because it's a long one. But we did talk about controversies of the Twilight Saga. But that, yeah, so if you want to hear our opinions on what we think about Jacob Black, which I think I don't know if we had touched on this. Like, I think the character as a whole, like, I think he has good qualities, but then obviously there's some things that come in and mess it up, like the gaslighting and the manipulation.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to touch a little bit on it and go more into detail about, because we had kind of just stuck with, like, yeah, like you said, the negatives, yeah. but like I personally, I really liked him in Twilight and the in New Moon.
Yeah.
I was upset with him, of course, in New Moon when, you know, he did hurt Bella, saying like we can't be friends, but he was just doing what he had to do to protect her.
Yeah.
It's not till Eclipse and Breaking Dawn that I'm like, oh hell no. But it's like I can't help but be like, oh my god, poor baby in Twilight. Because even in Midnight Sun, I don't know if you've gotten to that part of Midnight Sun, but when Edward like first interacts with Jacob or from like a distance because he's dropping Bella off, and Jacob's like, oh my god, like that car is so cool and all that, like that's a such and such, and he's like, his mind is so pure, and I'm like, oh my god, Jacob. Like, why?
Yeah, so I do really like him in Twilight and New Moon. It's just like the Eclipse stuff. I think that's where, you know, Stephanie Meyer, we love you, but I think that's where Stephanie went wrong, is making Jacob the
other
like the other villain, like the secret villain, if that makes sense. But remember I told you that there was a conspiracy theory that I wanted to talk to you about, and I feel like now is the perfect time to talk about it. Buckle up, because
hold on, let me fit.
This is a wild. I don't want to wild one. So
okay, I don't want to poke my eye out. So
I'll just start with the little basics of it. So we all know that Bella is a shield. Which and we know that because Jane's powers couldn't work on her, because Edward's powers didn't work on her. We know that she's a mental shield.
Yeah.
What if? Oh my gosh, I'm not ready to. I can't even like physically say this out loud. What if, since she's a shield, Jacob was meant to imprint on Bella, but couldn't because she's a shield, and so when she had Renesmee, since her DNA is in Renesmee, that is why he imprinted on Renesmee.
No!
I can't deal.
That's now in my mind. I'm never gonna forget that.
I have literal like tears like forming in my eyeballs right now.
I want to cry.
That's so sad.
And it's like, but then it makes sense why they had such a natural friendship and why a natural longing and why he made her happy when Edward was gone. I'm still Team Edward.
I'm still Team Edward.
But
through and through. Look, I'm like literally like there's tears coming.
You're literally crying.
It's just such a okay. I saw a video. This is why I thought about it. Is because I saw a video and it was a girl who screenshotted like a comment section of a video of someone saying this. Like she was like, I have a theory that since Bella's a shield, that is why Jacob could not imprint on her. Which sucks because it's not even like that is something that's not even something that Bella could control if she was human.
Like, yeah, because she didn't know about it.
Let's just say that in the end, let's just say that at some point, if whatever, that Bella chose Jacob instead of Edward, which we all know that Edward would be respectful of because he's a respectful king. He would have respected her choice. Yes. But if she ended up with Jacob, he still wouldn't have been able to imprint on her. And thus, if they had a kid, he would have imprinted on their kid.
That's more disgusting. Hell no.
But then it would have changed it, no? Like it would have kind of been like a father's love for like his child, right?
Yeah.
That's I think if they had went, well, obviously it would not have gone that route. But if they had gone that route, that's what it would have been.
It makes sense.
And it's just like,
oh god.
It's so sad. If that is the case, and if we find out that in freaking Renesmee's book or in Leah's book, if we find out that is why Jacob couldn't imprint, I will literally riot. I think I am not Team Jacob ever, but that crushes my soul.
Oh my god, my heart's literally breaking in pieces right now. What the heck?
Like I'm so like. And then I think after that that theory kind of blew up, and then I think it made its rounds on Twitter. Maybe I took a screenshot of it, but
because I hadn't. Well, then again, I don't know when. When did you find this out?
Like I think last week when I had told you like I have a theory that I want to talk about.
Okay, because. Well, then again, I haven't been on Twilight Tumblr in a while, so
this is what it said.
I wouldn't know if it got on there.
And it says, "Hi, good morning. What's causing your spiral today? For me, it's the TikTok comment that said that they think Jacob imprinted on Bella, but because she was a shield, it didn't work, so it transferred, and it makes it so much sense that I cannot believe I never thought of it myself." Is what they said on that. And that's so sad.
That really is. And like, because it's like, I know Stephenie Meyer has said that Jacob was never intended to be a love interest. The love triangle kind of happened.
Yeah.
Because she was pressured, she had to write more books and she didn't really plan for the story to go further than that. And it just happened. So,
yeah.
Who knows the possibilities that.
And I think Stephenie would break everyone's heart if she if she saw that tweet, if her PR team saw something like that, showed it to her, someone had to have seen that and showed it to her and I need her to just see that and like ponder with it and sit in it for a little bit, because I think because in our last episode we did say that Eclipse maybe should have been Bella and Edward trying to navigate their relationship and less of the love triangle. But
yeah,
and so I guess if they did that, they would bring up the whole love triangle thing again. But like, I don't know. That's just so sad. But then also, since if Jacob already imprinted, he can't imprint again.
Yeah, that's
from what we know, he can't. But like, what if? Because as far as we know, Bella has let her shield down to Edward only. As far as we know, because of the movie, her whole like letting her like shield down and letting Edward kind of like see what she's thinking about. Which, first of all,
you don't understand how. First of all, let's just talk about that. That scene will forever make the tears flow because.
And then, oh my god, and then, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. and then at the end, he goes to kind of see it again, and she was like, well, we have like forever, like what?
Oh my god, like stop! I just finished my makeup.
Who knew this episode would turn so emotional?
Oh,
jeez,
that's just the things this saga does to me. God, I love it and I hate it.
Yeah. I'm gonna get into my recommendation for the week, which I always feel like I never have my recommendations, but they always come to me in the spot. My recommendation is to go and research Twilight conspiracy theories and then go to our Instagram because I'm gonna put up a poll and tell me what is your favorite Twilight conspiracy theories. And maybe I'll screenshot them, I'll save it, and we'll talk about it in a future episode. But I feel like that's something that we should definitely talk about because there's a lot.
There's a lot of conspiracies. I mean, you have that one. You also have the who is Embry's dad conspiracy, which shout out to Cherish and her podcast, The Twilight Sleuths. Their first episode went into, which first of all, that was such a funny episode, funny pilot. They're talking about like literally the name of it was "Are You My Dad?" Like, so there's that conspiracy. There's the I wonder if I don't know if there's Aro doesn't know about. Well, no. Marcus doesn't know that Aro's the one who killed Didame. So it ever makes you wonder, like, is he just going off of Aro's word that Didame was destroyed? Or did Aro, like, threaten her and she vanished? And she's still out there.
True. I mean, hey.
So who knows? So, I don't think he saw. I don't think there's anything that says that Marcus saw her body.
Yeah. So I mean, that's my recommendation. On the day that we put this episode out, I will go and there will be a poll up on our Instagram at the By Podcast RR, and it's going to say, "Tell me your favorite Twilight conspiracy theories." I will screenshot them. We will talk about them, not next episode, but not episode 8, but episode 9. Sounds good. That's a plan.
Sounds good.
Because there's a lot. And there was actually something that I had saw. It's not a conspiracy theory, but something that I guess we didn't really touch upon last episode where we talked about the problems of Twilight. Was that Embry also imprinted on a child.
What? Oh, wait, Embry?
No. Quill?
No, Quill.
Quill. Sorry. My brain is...
I was like...
No, Quill imprinted on a child also. But there was, I forgot where it was said, but apparently at some point they had asked Quill if he would be dating other people while Claire, I think is her name, was growing up. And he had basically said, no, what's the point? Which...
That just sets some stuff in stone.
Yeah. So I think that's like the main issue with the imprinting. Also, if you're a viewer on YouTube and you're watching this, I suddenly started having a list because I put my retainers back in, but I'm taking them out. So I'm so sorry if you think it's gross, but I will try to hide it my best. Oh. So I think that is another issue. I think that's where the issue with the whole imprinting comes in, because things like that are said, and then
it sets it in motion. It kind of reinforces the idea of why we think it is what it is. And I understand people want to they want to write their own canon. We do it all the time, but I think it's important to acknowledge the actual canon and be like, okay, this is canon. It's horrible. It's problematic. but we can't ignore that, because if we ignore it, then we're just reinforcing it to continue.
Yeah, and I think that we did say this, that I think Stephanie has a chance to redeem herself with this
I think she does.
with this Renesmee book, to kind of show like, hey, maybe that was not in the best interest.
Yeah.
I think that if she maybe makes it canon that is what happened, that Jacob could not imprint on Bella because she was a shield, and it did not work to a transfer. I think that is not redeemable, but it makes it understandable.
Yeah.
First of all, but then it just doesn't excuse the fact that Quill also imprinted on a child.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that she does have a chance to redeem herself, or not herself, but also just like this whole
The
notion
saga.
of this, yeah. Because maybe it was like a poor choice, but I think that she has lots of opportunities. There's so many other things that I could think of for her to do or say that will make it better-ish.
Yeah.
I think that Stephanie needs to find your alt Nessie videos and kind of maybe take some notes.
She would hate my alt Nessie.
Oh, she absolutely. But people love them.
I know. And I mean, I'm still getting comments, which I just want to say it on here to all the listeners, and if you're following me on TikTok, I just want to clarify again, my alt Nessie does not follow canon. She never will. She is definitely not a conforming good little schoolgirl. She is rebellious. She is what I think most people would envision her to be in 2020 if, like, the canon was set. And I will not, because I'm still getting comments of people asking me to do ones with Jacob. And if I'm gonna include Jacob, I'm gonna be clowning him. It's not gonna be romantic. Don't ask me.
No.
And don't get mad.
Because Nessie has a new love interest, and his name is Mark.
His name is Mark, and who knows? She might have a girl love interest, because someone had asked, like, okay, what's Nessie's sexuality? And I was like, I don't think I have put a label on it, but if I had to, because I love everyone and I'm very accepting, it would be pan or queer. Mm-hmm. So that's how I feel like Nessie would be. And
I think
so who knows? Mark, yeah.
But I think you hit the nail on the head with the whole overbearing parents and her, like, maybe being, because I mean, obviously they're gonna have a weird dynamic, because she's gonna be raised up into a certain point with Edward and Bella as her parents, but then at a certain point they're gonna end up being raised as her siblings. You know, like if they go to school together, they're gonna be siblings.
Yeah, and I was definitely thinking about that in doing a video like that, where it's like we're at school and there's Edward and Bella, and it's all like, oh yeah, my parents are right there, but they're actually my siblings.
Yeah,
because and then it's also like someone had commented on it and brought this up, which is definitely true. Is people have to understand that Nessie was born in 2007. She's growing up in this time, and Edward was born in 1901. He was raised in a totally different generation, and he still has those values. Yeah, she's Gen Z. He is, I don't even know what, he's part of, he would be, like, if Edward, I think.
He's a boomer.
He was he's before a boomer. I think he was a part of, like, I think 1918 actually was 1918 the year we got into World War One, because they called the generation of World War One the world's, I think it was one of the world's greatest generation. He would have been in that. Like, Edward would have been drafted.
The GI generation.
The GI generation.
Which is like G.I. Joe, which is very, like, war driven. So.
Yeah, because World War One took place, I think, right during into the 1920s. I'm not sure. So he would have been, if Edward hadn't have died of the Spanish influenza, he probably would have been drafted.
Yeah. I think it's like I definitely can see some moments possibly in this next book where they're at school and they're like Bella has like tells her something in like a motherly tone, or Edward tells her something as a father, and she's like, "Okay, Dad," and then there's people being like, "What the fuck?
Oh no!
What the heck?" And be like, "Oh, not." Like having to try to twist that, like, "Oh, I meant Daddy."
I'm like, oh. Oh, I cannot wait to see how this is gonna turn out.
It's gonna be a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah. Oof.
Very interesting to see how exactly she does it. But we can guarantee that in our book there will be no pedophilia or racism.
Hell no.
Or anything like that.
No.
So
or homophobia, no xenophobia, nothing.
We're gonna be very accepting. And that's all I'm gonna say about it, because without giving too much away.
Yeah. Just know it's gonna be diverse.
Very diverse, yes. I guess this leads us to our next topic of today, and that is the world of Charlie Swan, of Cheif Swan, our chief and savior.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Love him.
Charlie. Where do we even begin? Obviously Charlie is Bella's dad. We kind of talked about this, I think, on the last episode, but we said, or maybe the one before, but we did say that we think that Charlie should be turned into a vampire.
Yes,
and that is
I actually like I on it. That is canon. Like, write down Stephenie Meyer, do it, because it just. I thought about this, and I think it's also because I was which I'll get into more of it when because I'm rereading Eclipse, so this is gonna be one of two of my segment. But I was rereading Eclipse, and I had just finished Unhappy Ending, which is the chapter where Rosalie tells her story and why she feels. And it just got me thinking, like, how Rosalie's all like, you don't know what you're gonna miss, because Bella is so blinded by her love for Edward and wanting to stay with him for eternity. Like, she doesn't realize that she's got her parents. And I think of that one scene in Breaking Dawn Part 1 where she says goodbye to Charlie, and it's like she thinks that that's gonna be the last time she sees him as a human. Yeah. And she goes, and like they have this moment where he's like standing there, and she goes up to him, and I keep trying to turn up the volume so loud and replay, because I swear I think she says, like, she punches him and she goes like, "Daddy," like, you know, in a very soft and like childlike way, and they have like that moment, and I literally almost start crying. And I'm just so like, no, like Charlie's gonna continue living, and I don't know. I think her and her relationship with Charlie got stronger during her time in Forks, and like I think she genuinely would feel really sad to have to watch him grow old and her stay there, and then have to maybe become his granddaughter, and then watch him go on, and it just.
I have a theory that I think Charlie knows everything. I feel he has to know. There's no way.
He has to know.
He is the chief of police in Forks, Washington. He already had suspicion about the attacks not being like animal attacks. So, but then Harry had like, you know, came in and kind of like persuaded him like otherwise, like, no, it is, right? Just to cover up the tracks of the wolves, right? But then he found out about the wolves. So then he already has to be thinking, like, if there's werewolves, what else is there? You can do one Google search, like Bella, and search up like werewolves, whatever, and it's gonna tell you that their natural, like, born enemy are vampires. And then he's gonna automatically be thinking like, like vampires? That's a little ridiculous. But then he can connect the dots, and he has a
Yeah.
grandchild that is growing faster than freaking like.
There's no way he doesn't know.
Yeah, he has to know.
And he has to know. And even when he first saw Bella after, she had Nessie, and Jacob kind of reveals himself. So he knows about Jacob. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he goes, my daughter looks like my daughter, but then she doesn't.
And then the whole part where she was like, they introduced Renesmee to him, and he was like, oh, like this is our niece, right? That we adopted. And then he goes, she has your eyes. That's just suspicious. That's weird.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
That's suspicious.
Like
the way you said that.
I just need a voice of Charlie saying that. Like, that's suspicious.
Yeah.
And then Sue is she's not an elder, but she goes to the meetings because she kind of like
I think Jacob said in Eclipse, which I should be getting to that chapter soon. I think he said that Sue took over for Harry.
Well, see, and so she knows. So then, and they're partners, dude. I tell my husband everything, like all the chisme, like all the gossip, everything, like.
And he's now like, stepdad to Seth and Leah, and as long as Seth and Leah continue to phase, they're not gonna age. So he's gonna wonder why his biological daughter, his son-in-law, are not aging. Like, she still looks 19. Mm-hmm. He's gonna wonder why his stepdaughter and son are not aging. And then he's gonna wonder why his grandchild is aging so fast.
And then stops at some point.
And then stops. And Jacob.
Like, I don't, like, he has to know. And then I have another theory that if he somehow does not know, whatever, like we're just gonna make Charlie this naive character, like he doesn't know anything, then I think that he's gonna be turned by not by one of the Cullens. I think he might be turned by like some villain or something so that as kind of like revenge in a way.
That got me thinking, because I don't know why I feel like I've always thought, what if like the Romanian coven does something drastic, that because they want to go against the Volturi, what if they do something so drastic that involves the Cullens and the Volturi having to team up to like take them down?
True. I mean, I can see that. I'm just saying, if I don't get Charlie Swan content in these new books, I will literally flip shit.
I'm gonna throw the book.
What is the point?
What's the point? Like,
seriously, like, we just need Charlie Swan content. Like, I need Charlie there as a supportive grandpa. And then we're getting a Leah book and a Renesmee book. Leah lives with Charlie.
Literally, I swear, my girl better be done justice.
Oh my goodness. He just needs to, I think he just needs to return at this point. And then he can turn Sue, and then all of them will just live happy. Like, that's it.
Literally.
And
then Seth and Leah
need an imprint.
Oh yeah, yeah, they need imprints.
I guess, Charlie, I guess, in the beginning was kind of an underrated character, and I think he's only gained like love like more recently, like through the whole like Twilight Renaissance on TikTok. I think it's definitely been a rise in justice for Cheif Swan, is what people are saying. Or for Daddy Swan, I've seen that too. And I made
Oh.
my first Charlie related video when I was like things I would wear on my honeymoon with like for the guys with the men of Forks or with the men of Twilight. And I did Charlie and I put a pair of handcuffs, like, and that was it.
That is.
And then that was my
That
first
was.
Charlie video. And then I noticed people were like, oh my gosh, yes, Cheif Swan. And then I think I made another one. It was when all those like riots were happening for good cause,
Yeah.
and people were saying ACAB, which is all cops are bad, and that trend was going around
Yeah.
where people were doing with the cops from uh SVU, and they were like with Olivia
Oh my
Benson
God.
and like Stabler, and they were like, I hope you know that this has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And so
I saw that video. I saw your video. That was one of the first videos that popped up for me from you.
and that was the like I guess after I saw all the love for Charlie, I did that video I think next, and that was a while. And then I had another video that had Charlie in it, but it didn't only have Charlie; it had Carlos. It was the daddies, and it was like if you got this video, like this is who your like your love triangle is with, and then it was Carlisle and Charlie, and it literally blew up. Like
How could you make me choose?
I know people.
All I know.
People were saying a lot of things like, "I guess we're going to Paris."
I mean,
That's all I'm
I
gonna
know
say
I
on
say I
that.
hate. I know I say I hate men, but I don't mean them.
It has right now. It has 900,000 views. Yeah, people. Someone put with those two, it's not a triangle. It's polygamy.
They right.
Oh my goodness. Emily or remember Twilight commented and put, "What a blessed day this is."
Shout out to Emily, our girl.
We love her.
I love her.
Let me see. So some people are so funny on that. Some people put the algorithm really knows I have daddy issues. I mean,
I don't want to. No, I
had a lot of
I fall
verified
into
people on TikTok also comment on it. It's just super funny. It's a really funny video.
I love that.
But yeah, so Charlie is popping off right now. And we also said the whole justice for Charlie Swan was a big thing that was going around because I think that he did deserve some justice. Bella very rudely left him in Twilight.
Oh my God, that really broke my heart. That really broke.
I feel like if my child ever said that to me, I would like never look at them the same. I would like always
Yeah.
like that is so hurtful.
And he was, and I mean, yeah, because like him and Bella are very kind of similar with the awkwardness and not knowing what to say and very mellow and reserved. But then again, it's like, I think that has to deal with the fact that Renee had primary custody of Bella and he only got 2 weeks with her.
Yeah.
Out of the year.
She would.
That's not enough.
She used to come visit him every summer, and she stopped wanting to go, and so he would go visit her. Which, first of all, Bella, like, come on, get over yourself.
Exactly. 2 weeks out of the year, you're not gonna have a very that like there's no I've never seen unless there's like something drastic. It's like I've never heard of like with a custody thing like that where it's 2 weeks out of the summer. Yeah. Usually, like I understand with like school, but what about spring break? What about winter break? What about Thanksgiving?
I know, for parents that, well, I don't know, because my parents live in the same area, like 20 minutes from each other. So it was like I would go with my dad every other weekend, and every Wednesday my dad would pick me up.
Yeah.
I think the same thing is with my sisters. Is that they have the same thing that they're supposed to go with them I think every other weekend, but their dad lives far away. So if it's not every other weekend, it's like a month in the summer or like something like a long period of time.
Yeah. Yeah, so I can understand like a month long.
Yeah.
If it's once a year, like I can understand a month long, but 2 weeks?
That doesn't make up for the amount of time that I think that, and I think that maybe, I mean, I could also see maybe like Charlie just being like, dude, I can't. She's like, she's, you know, she was kind of, she's like preteens younger, right? So like him being like, she can't be home by herself. I work. So I could see something like that happening. But then like, I don't know, like she could go sit in the office with you. But then at
take your kid
at
to
some
work.
point, Bella did stop wanting to go with Charlie, which makes me sad because I think Charlie really did love Bella, and there's a TikTok I saw that made me a little bit angry because they said that in Eclipse, that in the book Charlie congratulated Jacob on kissing Bella, and that is the one.
That is the one bad move.
Yeah.
Stephenie Meyer,
but
why?
I think that I don't know why she tries to make all these characters that we love for a good period of time like these like secret villains, you know, like.
Oh yeah, I mean that like with Rosalie. Hell, I mean I will never disrespect Rosalie.
Yeah,
I relate to her.
So I don't, but like I could see maybe him congratulating Jacob only because he doesn't like Edward that much, which he had his rights not to like Edward, to be fair. Basically, he was the entire reason that Bella left in Twilight because she's being chased by this vampire that's gonna kill her. And then
and then in New Moon
she was literally having like PTSD because Edward left and he would somehow control her dream or like her like emotions like that, like she was so attached to him.
And that's why I agree with you with the why Eclipse should have been them working on the relationship, because I cannot see, like I would never see myself forgiving that quickly. I mean, it was right after her birthday that he did this, so September, and then it was what, January, February when this happened? And it just like that's like what, September, October, November, December, January. That's like 6 months.
That's a long time.
And she was a different person. Like her whole personality did a 180, and it just did not.
She was depressed because, and that's like a big thing. Like you don't, especially because I think he left her very vulnerable. Like she knew about this vampire world and that other vampires, like that's such a dangerous position to put someone in. Like I'm Team Edward through and through, but that was like a mistake. Like there's, I feel like there was another way to go about it, and he left because he felt like bad, like because of like what happened with Jasper. Like,
see, I can't give it away because you gotta finish Midnight. You gotta finish Midnight Sun.
But that just makes it even worse. I'm like,
and that's why if you've seen the videos and why like Mare and I have always, and like a bunch of us who finished it are just like, why? Because I made a video. It was like rereading New Moon after Midnight Sun, and I like threw it. I was like, "You bastard!" Cause, and then people in my comments were all like, "I knew exactly what you meant." And then some people were like, "What does this mean?" I was like, "You have to read Midnight Sun to understand."
I'm like more than halfway done, so I can probably, like, if I literally just sit down and read it, I can finish it. But
because there's another thing I want to talk about with Midnight Sun that pisses me off with Edward, because it's like, no, you did the right thing, and he's trying to justify this thing that he did, and he's all like, oops, can you see me?
Yeah.
My thingy like popped up. He's trying to justify this thing that he did, but I'm like, no, you did the right thing. Like, stop it with your freaking guilt complex.
Yeah, that is a really big thing. um about Midnight Sun, what I've read so far is that he's just very like, oh, anything that he ever does, he's always just like questioning it. And we won't go too much into Midnight Sun because future
Future
episode.
episode.
But yeah, so she was super changed after this, and Charlie had to sit there and literally like he couldn't do anything to help his daughter, like at all.
Yeah.
And like he was sitting there helpless. So then he was upset at Edward, one, for leaving his daughter, and because Charlie doesn't know the whole like ballet studio stuff, right? He just knows she went to Phoenix, fell out of a window, and then ended up in the hospital.
Yeah.
So that puts like an like even worse taste in his mouth, because I feel like he doesn't know the trauma that she had to go through, and so it's probably less of like Edward leaving that Edward leaving triggered these nightmares, but like she's having nightmares about the trauma he went through. And as far as Charlie knows, she's going through these nightmares because Edward is not there. So
Yeah.
automatically to him, like that's like no, like not good at all. And then I guess another thing that in Eclipse, I guess I don't. I mean, Edward didn't really do anything like terrible in Eclipse. Um.
I
Oh.
I just hate that he freaking like took her engine out of her truck.
Yeah, that
to prevent her from going to the because that oh god
that was a poor choice on his end. She could not start her car, and she was like, "What the heck?" And he jumps in, and she goes, "Did you do this to my car, to my truck?"
Yeah, because it just kind of contradicts like what he said, that like if she chooses Jacob and like he would support her and be there for her, but then he's preventing her from even kind of seeing if that's the case. I mean, granted, she always thought of Jacob as a friend, and she did love him for like a friend, but it's all like, even he says that he would support her, but then he does this and like sabotages her truck to prevent her with the, you don't know if they're going to get violent.
Cool. Okay, I have a question. Or maybe more of like a theory. But since we had the whole theory that Jacob could have imprinted on Bella and was meant to but couldn't because she was a shield. Do you think that if that moment in New Moon right before Edward calls, I'm about to start crying because I don't know why I'm getting so emotional over this. And then they're about to kiss, and then he says, oh, I forgot what he says, but I forgot how to say it, but it's a Quillette like term. Let me search it up because it is the saddest thing that I ever, and oh my gosh.
I wish I had my New Moon book with me, but I left it at the dorm.
Okay. Oh, let me see. Let's see. What does he tell her? He says, oh, so it means, he says Kuwap Kila Whitley. I'm probably butchering that, but it means stay with me forever in Quillette. So
ouch.
What if in that moment, like right before Edward called, like that could have been a moment for her to like let her shield down without knowing that she let her shield down. Because
don't make me cry.
The whole time she knows how to let her shield down now as a vampire because she's worked on it. But then that would have been like a very vulnerable like moment for her. Like, you know, like Alice just got there. She's very vulnerable. That could have been a thing. But just imagine like if they kissed and then her shield dropped and then he imprinted. Oh my gosh, that would have been wild. I think that would have made it, the whole love triangle, I think even like heightened, like more heightened than than what it was in Eclipse, because that was the whole thing. Like, Jacob was literally fighting Bella, like fighting over Bella because he thought that he could imprint on her, and like,
Yeah.
and he didn't. And I think that if he did imprint on her, it would have made the love triangle more interesting. I think it would have been an even like it, because in Eclipse, to me, it really wasn't like a love triangle thing, because to me her choice was always clear. Like, it was always Edward. But then
Yeah.
if you had this other force like making it impossible for Jacob to leave Bella alone, like, that would have like made the love triangle even more like, what the heck are we doing here? And then, because
Yeah.
imagine she let, in that moment, she like let her shield down without knowing she let her shield down. Jacob and Prince gets the call from Edward. All that still happens. Like, all they could have let it just go on a little bit longer. Edward calls, and she still makes the choice to go to Italy to save him. Imagine what a
Yeah.
what a kick in the balls that would have been for Jacob.
He would have been hella heartbroken. And then Edward's still proposing at the end, like, knowing Jacob imprinted, and he still proposes, like, oh
That
my
would have made the love
god.
triangle, I think, even more interesting. I mean, and I think at the end,
I think so too.
that would have made us like Jacob a little bit more if he imprinted on Bella,
Yeah.
and then he would have had like no choice but to like try to fight for her love, instead of like this option,
Yeah.
instead of the other option that we got, where he's fighting for her love, thinking that that's who he should have imprinted on. But like,
Yeah. Like, he was prepared to not even, like, he was expected not to find his imprint because his emotions were so strong for her. Like,
yeah, that, I think that would have,
God, Raven.
that would have made it more heartbreaking, and I think that would have made us like, maybe more like, not more Team Jacob, but more like empathetic.
It would have been a more divided fandom.
Even more.
Yeah, it would have been a more divided fandom.
Yeah, because with the canon that we have now, it's very like, he has his like the wrong, like, he has like everything he has is like a wrong, like every little decision that he makes up from like Eclipse, like that one moment in Eclipse on, is like not the best decision ever.
There were so many cute moments in New Moon when he calls her bite mark from James, like, that's your funny scar. Like, ah!
Yeah. That would have been, I think that if we really if she really wanted to stick with the whole love triangle thing, I think that would have made it better. And I know that when she was writing, she didn't intend for it to turn into a love. I was gonna say a three-way. Whoa, a love triangle. That, I mean, movies always differ somehow from the book, so it could have easily been like they changed it up a little bit. It wouldn't have changed up much of Eclipse, only the fact that like Edward and Jacob would have literally had a reason to like literally battle it out, because Edward's in love with Bella, like he has this like connection to her, and then Jacob is literally has a connection to her from imprinting. That would have made like the whole like, from now on I'm Switzerland thing like super like, you go girl, like, dang.
Yeah. That would have been so much more spicy.
That would have been so spicy. And then Charlie would have been there just like, hey.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's
speaking of Charlie,
someone needs to write a fanfic about that. I'm gonna write a fanfic about that. I'm gonna write a fanfic. I'm gonna start from where they were about to kiss, and then Bella dropped her shield, they imprint, and then all that. I'm gonna do it.
Do it. I think it would be.
Do I use? I don't even know how to like where to write fanfics. Wattpad? I know Wattpad is a thing.
Wattpad is, of course, like one of the OGs. The only thing with Wattpad is they've kind of had some security breaches with like information. to anyone who's using Wattpad, I'm not trying to scare you because I still have an account, but I haven't gone on there in a long time. I think the last time I went on there was at the beginning of the year to like delete all my old works from when I was like 14. But they've had like security breaches where I think information of users was leaked on the dark web. And
Whoa.
so you have archives of our own. You have archives of our own, which is definitely a popular one. And then I personally, in the recent years when I've like read, I've used Quotive.
Oh, yeah.
So Quotive is also a good one.
Then I will go ahead. I'm gonna look into that because I think that would be an interesting fanfic.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
That would be.
While we're still on the topic of Charlie, before we end it or whatever, do we want to touch on? We've kind of touched on it on a couple of episodes about like with powers and everything. There's the theory of what if Charlie is also a shield in some way, which we've talked about, because it happens in Midnight Sun when Edward interacts with Charlie. He's listening to his thoughts, but his thoughts are cut and dry, where it's very like it's like you know when you're on
like
a because you know how he thinks of yeah, so it's like you kind of hear it, but then you don't. Okay.
So we're talking about the powers.
Powers.
How Charlie is his thoughts to Edward were kind of like radio transmitters, like they would come in and out. And so we have this theory that we had talked about in a past episode that if Charlie gets turned into a vampire, he would be a shield.
Yeah. I don't think his shield would be to the extent of Bella's, because Bella's was so powerful that Edward couldn't hear anything, and neither could Aro, and the fact that she could, which, another thing, it's like, I saw this either on TikTok or on YouTube. It was talking about Bella's shield. So, Bella is able to project the shield onto others in like a physical form to mentally protect them. Yeah. But her mind's still shielded. So it makes us wonder how, which I think I had already told you about, like with Midnight Sun, which, spoiler again, with how during the scene in the hospital with James, Edward talks about how Renee was so like emotional, and like it's like she projected her emotions that influenced people to help her. So it makes us wonder if Bella's shield is a combination of Charlie and Renee, where she's mentally protected, but she's able to project it onto others.
Yeah.
She still can't, and like the term projection, I'm using that kind of loosely so people don't get confused, because people like to think that she can project her thoughts and memories like Renesmee, and that's not the case. It's like, because people, like, that was one thing with my one video, like, a lot of people were arguing with me about it, and I'm like, no, that's not how it goes. Like, Renesmee can project her thoughts and feel her thoughts through touch, but Bella can only project the shield itself. Like, she's still protected. So it's like,
I think that Charlie's I think he's a shield, but I have a theory that his is like he lets people like he's able to kind of control what people see and or hear or whatever from his own thoughts. I think that's something that his powers would be.
Yeah, so he kind of is able to, like, it's flexible. Where, like, once he's more comfortable with you and he can be open.
And I wonder if he would be able to, like, bend the reality of what people, you know, kind of, like, see, like, as his thoughts or something like that. Or also if Bella has that ability, if she has the ability to kind of, like, because she had let her shield down, and that's why Edward was able to read her thoughts at the end. And it seems like she's able to control what she's showing him.
Yeah.
So
very interesting. Oh.
Which is
That's why.
another reason why I think Charlie should become a vampire, because
Yes. Why is she calling me? Oh my god. I'm not going to answer it. I'm just going to let it continue. I don't think you can see me.
yeah, I can't see you, but it's fine. I'm gonna cut, like, I'll cut it. There we go.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that that's another reason why Charlie would be a great vampire. And Charlie's underrated. He had one bad moment that we don't talk about.
Yeah.
But maybe we should. But we talked about it a little bit. We don't agree with it, but we still think that Charlie is a king. He deserved so much better.
He did.
Also, like, screw Renee for leaving him. We don't like Renee.
Period.
Well, I'm not a fan of Renee, but
I'm not a fan of
Renee. She
Renee
didn't deserve
either.
Charlie Swan.
No, she didn't.
She did not. Sue deserves Charlie. But
I
also, like,
couple.
Charlie was Harry's friend, so T.
T. That's an T. I think him and Sue are a cute couple, but at the same time, it's like I understand. I don't know. I mean, come on. Sue and Harry were together for a long time.
And remember in Breaking Dawn Part 1 at the wedding, I think, I forgot who had said, but one of them was like, let's go grab a drink, and then Billy was like, he was like, defensive.
It was Charlie. Charlie was all like, well, I plan on getting drunk. And it was like, Sue, would you like me to grab you a glass? And you just see Billy go, sparkling.
Yeah. He was trying to stop that from happening. Because I wonder if he was doing it on purpose, because, like, that was Harry's wife. Or if he was doing it because if Charlie became Sue's partner, then that would just open a door for him to even, like, be more immersed into this world that he doesn't know about.
Yeah, that, and also, even though Billy is accepting of Edward and Bella, it still leaves them vulnerable to the Cullens. Because, they still don't trust, even though they, and that one scene where Jacob's thinking about how he's going to kill Edward if Bella doesn't make it, and when at the honeymoon, and Sam goes, I say, Jacob, the Cullens are not a threat. So it's like there was that moment of peace between them, but I think Billy still has his guard up where Bella is now going to be married to Edward. She's going to have to change. And if there's a chance Charlie is still part of her life, it leaves them vulnerable.
Okay, so you just got me thinking. Earlier you said that the Romanians were going to try to do this battle, and the Volturi and the Cullens might have to, kind of gang up together, but the Cullens work with the wolves. So what if the Cullens say, hey, we need this backup, like, we need extra power, we need the wolves, and the Volt, I feel like Arrow would be like, okay, fine, we'll see, but then Caius would be like, not about it. Oh my gosh, I just, like, thought of, like, a theory that would literally throw a loophole that you had said earlier, that maybe Demi is not really dead. What if they have a battle and then Demi, like, walks out? Oh my gosh.
Oh, Stephanie, get on this right now.
That would be wild. Imagine Marcus just like seeing her and being like, what the heck? Like, that would be.
And then he turns to Aro like, you got some explaining to do.
That would be crazy. But then Marcus would then want to go fight with them.
Yeah. Oh no.
That would cause a problem.
drama, and then it ends on a cliffhanger. We're like, what? We need more.
Yeah, it's definitely just gonna put like Alice shows so and so a vision, and that's all we're gonna get, and then we're gonna have to wait for a movie to come out.
Exactly.
Which I really hope there is, but a lot of people are saying they don't think so.
Nah, I think, of course I love the movies we have, and as much as I kind of would want a new show I would want a show for like more detail or more, but with movies, it's like, not only am I still attached to the original cast, it's also the fact that there are the problematic things in Twilight, and it's like, I don't think it would be a good idea to redo it and then perpetuate this again, and then like
I think if they were to do it, they would have to change some things.
They would never. Yeah, they would. I think definitely they would really have to change some things.
Because that would not slide in today's kind of society.
Oh no. It has potential, but then it's all like you have. But no one can be satisfied, because it's like, if you start changing, then a lot of people are like, this is not like the original, like all this, and it's all like, there's a reason why it's not like the original. So,
which is why you should wait for our book to come out, because I'm just gonna
put a plug in there.
It's not out yet, but
no, but we're gonna work on it.
We will. We should put out trailers.
Oh my god! Do just some fan cams of like.
We should just have Sam as our main character.
Oh my god! Yes, I love Sam. See, that's the only reason why I would watch a new Twilight movie or show, is if Sam is Bella.
Period. Oh my gosh! If there's gonna be another, or Renesmee.
Renesmee, yeah.
If there's gonna be a new Twilight movie, or TV series, Sam as Bella.
Or Victoria, because have you seen her Victoria cosplay? Yeah. It is so.
Let's just hire all the Olympic Coven cosplay group. I mean,
yes.
If they can't get the original actors, they're the like next best thing. I have my retainers in, so I'm like talking all.
It's okay.
They're like the other option. Like, they're the best option if they can't get. I mean, I think their Edward looks very canon to Edward.
I think so too.
Like, anytime, also sometimes if you search up like Edward Cullen, like sometimes
his pictures show up,
and I'm like,
I love it.
I love that. It's amazing.
Like, hey, I love that.
Oh, okay, well, I guess to conclude, Charlie deserves more, and SpongeBob characters resemble Twilight characters pretty much sometimes. And now it's time to get into Reed's weekly read.
Oh, I heard. Oh no, I think my grandma dropped something. Okay, so I have. Sorry if my stomach starts growling. I probably should eat something, but it'll be okay. Okay, so I have 2 books that, which honestly, I'm proud of myself, because I hadn't been doing much reading in the past couple weeks, because with school and, like, trying to come up with ideas for TikTok and, just a whole bunch of other things. But anyways, so I have 2 books. The first one we're going to do is Eclipse, because I have been rereading Eclipse, and I think I'm on chapter 8 now. Yeah, so I got up to after finishing Unhappy Ending, which is Rosalie's story, and it's like, definitely, I think Eclipse is the most, like, the best. I think Eclipse had the best adaptation book to movie compared to the others. Because while they did change some things, they were little things. Whereas we see in, like, Twilight, we have the whole Wayland story. which didn't even happen in the books.
Yeah.
But it kind of made sense to add it because it kind of sets up for the nomads. But it definitely Eclipse is also, I think, my favorite just because of, like, the drama and the action. And we see Bella really have to, she's really in her thoughts. Like, I think she does the most thinking in this. And, I need to finish it. Because then I'm going to plan to reread Breaking Dawn. And, also, this one definitely was, I think Eclipse was 100 or so pages longer than the first two, because Twilight was only like 400 something pages, and the New Moon was around the same, maybe close to 500. Eclipse is almost 630, and I think also, I think with Eclipse, it had definitely, she definitely shocked us when she decided to give us Jacob's point of view for the epilogue, which I'm still a little, like, surprised, because I'm like, you gave us Jacob's, which makes me wonder, like, it just makes me wonder, like, I want to know her true thoughts on the Jacob character, because she really gave us his point of view twice. And gave him a whole section. Was
there not something that came out where she said that she's like Team Jacob?
I don't know.
I feel like I saw that somewhere. Let me search it up while you're continuing.
So, and also, chapter 8 is when I guess we get into Quill's imprint, and that's when Bella finds out about, like, she kind of. We saw her reaction with Quill. She thought the same thing. So that's another thing with, like, the whole problematic thing about imprinting.
Okay, so I found it.
But
she said in an interview that if she were to pick a team, she said, I'd say I'd probably be in Team Jacob. That's more of my style.
Wow. That's very interesting. But
maybe that's why she gave us Jacob point of view 2 different times.
Yeah, but then she freaking ruined his character.
Exactly. How do you do it to your favorite character?
Oh my god, exactly. Exactly. So, yeah. Basically, that's my little take on Eclipse. I'm rereading Eclipse. Definitely, there's a lot of things I kind of wish, like, even the small details I wish they had in the movie, because I really wish that it was Rosalie seeking out Bella in the backstory part of the movie. Yeah. I kind of didn't like how they made her angry, which is why Bella seeks her out. I don't know. I was just like, come on. And
it just adds to the whole secret villain, like, fiasco that we were talking about. Bella seeking her out because she got mad. It's like adds to the whole, like, these secret villains in a way.
Yeah, like, I totally agree.
Yeah,
because like in the book, I thought that was a very vulnerable and kind of I forget the word I'm trying to think of. It's a fancy word, but between the two characters, because it's all like Rosalie is someone who is like this stoic in the background, very angry character who Bella knows doesn't like her, and the fact that she goes to her to talk to her kind of just shows, okay, I'm being vulnerable with you. I want to talk. I think it was a very pivotal.
There's a lot of characters that I think that are in there, even to the Cullens that we see, where she makes them these like secret villains that kind of like, you know, like Rosalie, also Jasper being like literally wanting to kill Bella, and then like being a Confederate soldier and all this stuff. So why can't we just make our characters like good characters? Like it's more like we have like these bad people with like redeemable qualities is what it seems like, and not just like good people.
Yeah. ugh, that's one thing that definitely makes me upset with it. And then going on to my next one. Now this, oh my god! If you follow me on TikTok, you're gonna be like, really? If you've been following me since like when I still do book talk every now and then, but I just So this is Silence. It's the third book in the Hush Hush saga, which is about angels. And the first book of Hush Hush was the first book I used on our first episode, and it's about fallen angels. And people like to think of it as people have tried saying that this is kind of like Twilight but angels. They've also said that about Fallen, but honestly, I don't know if that's gonna come to it because there hasn't really been a love triangle yet. So I guess it's in Twilight with the sense that it's supernatural, there's drama. Nora is kind of at the center of it. It's like she's at the center of it, she kind of knows, but then she doesn't know. So I guess it's similar to Twilight in that. It's not similar in that there's not a love triangle yet. I mean, granted, it could happen. I'm halfway through the third book because I started this book 2 days after I finished Midnight Sun, which was back in August. I got up to chapter 3 and then I kind of stopped. And then I moved to my dorm and I brought it with me. And then I got up to chapter 5 and then school and other things and like stuff went on with like, my family. And I hadn't been reading. And so I finally turned it. Why is my phone not charging for some reason? It's like I finally picked it up. I brought it with me to my grandma's because I was like, I need to finish it. Like, I think it was I saw a video of someone talking about the saga saying it's about to get a movie, and I was like, I think this is the sign that I need to finish the book. And so picked it up, started right back onto chapter 5 because I kind of remembered, like, even though it had been like 3 months, I remembered what had went down. And yesterday I just could not put it down, and I'm already on chapter like 14. So I'm halfway done with it, which I'm very happy because that means
it looks like it'll be like it's a quick read.
It is. It's like it's about the same as Twilight. It's about 430 pages, and also it has a lot of chapters, but they're short. So it's like you kind of go through it pretty quick. And I'm like, it's setting up, and I'm like, oh no, because the cliffhanger at the second one, and it's like, oh, because this is what happens. I don't want to spoil it in case maybe people out there want to read it or you do, but this I gotta say
I want to read it.
I gotta like tell you this. So at the end, there was like a fiasco that happened at the end of book 2, and it results in Nora apparently been missing. At the opening of this book, she had apparently went missing, and she has no memory of what happened past like the past 5 months. So she has no memory of like the first 2 books going into this one, and it's like, what? So I was like, what the heck? And now I'm having to like, I'm reading it and I'm like, and it's like you're in her thoughts. So it's like, as the reader what happened, and it's like you're getting frustrated because it's all like, no, this happened, this is wrong, because she has no memory. So it's definitely interesting. I definitely recommend it. I'm hoping to get it done tonight or tomorrow so I can start the final book and then be ready for when the movie comes out. So, which I really hope the movie does justice and it doesn't flop, because unfortunately with the Fallen series, that's what happened. Oh my god, my phone still didn't charge. I don't know what's going on, but it's like with the Fallen series, the way they do these, and I think that's the same with like Twilight. I think if Twilight hadn't been, like, it hadn't brought down the box office, I don't think we would have gotten the next 3 movies. Because that kind of is a pattern with like these big franchises and sagas and movies, is if they don't, especially with books, if the first one doesn't do good, they won't make the second. If the second one doesn't do good, then they might not make the third. Harry Potter,
Yeah.
I think, is a very special case where they managed to get all 7.
Yeah.
So Fallen only got the first one.
That's why we got to make sure our book is good. So that
yes, we got to make sure it's good so that
we're either doing TV series or movies.
Yes, and that's another, and same with the Mortal Instruments. So we got to make sure that we sell our rights to the right people.
Yes.
So
we'll take it as an example.
Yes.
We're gonna be doing lots of research when we get into this, and then
Yes.
just imagine in a couple of years or how many podcasts we'll be into by the time our book comes out, and then Ree's Weekly Read will be our book.
That's gonna be my motivation.
That's gonna be iconic.
Yes.
We're gonna have to do like a whole series where we just like read our book.
Oh my god, yes.
We'll
be like roasting our own characters and being like,
Yeah.
no, she should have done this. And then you'll be like, you wrote that. I'll be like, well, you said this was a good idea.
We were going to be sitting there like, damn it, we should have done this instead. Jeez.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
How iconic of us. We're going to be so... Oh my gosh. Are we going to let it go to our heads? We're going to let it go to our heads.
Yes, we are.
Every episode, we're going to be like, well, in our book...
Can you look? Both of our Mercuries are in Leo, I think. So
yeah. Oh my gosh, should we go look at our co-star?
Oh,
I'll pull it up on my phone.
I can't pull. You pull it up because I can't pull it up on.
Okay, I'm pulling it up in case you guys want to know. Rhea and I are actually very compatible, which I guess makes sense because, like, I mean, we get along. So we have compatibility in our intellect and communication, which are both in Leo.
Yes.
Which makes sense since we started a podcast together.
We make good business partners. We make
good business partners. And the good thing is, we didn't talk about our compatibility on our Zodiac episode, because we both didn't have co-star. Well, I had, but I just didn't even think about that. Love and pleasure are both in Leo. Oh. So the pleasures of life, possibly. We also have our compatibility in philosophies of life, which is mine. I think mine's in Taurus, and yours is in Pisces, which makes sense because I heard that Pisces is has qualities of every single zodiac, and then our senses of responsibility are both in Taurus.
Yes,
which makes lots of sense because I mean, senses of responsibilities. So
I think it's very interesting, and also because Virgos and Leos are very hit and miss. They can make really good friends and business partners, but in relationships, not so much. So I think we hit the nail with the friends and business partners.
Yeah.
So I think that's very
I'm married and I'm married and in a separate relationship.
Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Woods. I ain't coming for your girl. Don't worry.
He's gonna be listening at work. Sometimes he'll do that. Like on the episode where we talked about cancers.
Oh no!
Or our Zodiac episode, he listened and he came home and he was like, "Oh, so I don't let you choose where we eat, huh?" And I was he was like, "I'm manipulative," and I was like, you're very manipulative."
But in a good way. We stand Mr. Woods. Fun.
We stand Mr. Woods. I love that. I love that the group chat stands my husband.
Yes.
Love that. He's a great person. Well, I guess with that, it's the end of our episode. Tune in. Oh, here, I have it pulled up on my phone. Tune in next episode. Oh, I didn't even check the date. Let's check the date on that.
It's gonna be 2021.
It will be our first episode of 2021 will be episode 8, and it'll be on January 11th. We will talk about Twilight characters and what careers we think they would have if they were not pretending to be high school students, and all things Midnight Sun. So we touched on it a little bit today, but we're going to go in depth to it next episode. So if you have not finished Midnight Sun, this is your sign to finish it, because I have to finish it too.
It's gonna be spoilers. Like
yes, I'm gonna finish reading it and I'm gonna go back and start annotating it. So it's gonna be very in depth. So if you have not finished it, finish it ASAP before January 11th. That's your New Year's resolution, to finish Midnight Sun. Follow us on all of our social medias, Instagram, TikTok, at the Bite Podcast RR.
Stop by
RRR.
Make sure you stop by.
RR.
Make sure you stop by on our Instagram every time we upload an episode because we go live.
Yes, we go live every Monday, every other Monday that we post our episode at like 5 p.m. Central, 6 some 5 6 something like that.
Yeah.
And we just sit there and we chit chat and have a fun time. Some of your favorite Twi Talkers might be on there too in the chat. Mare, Cherish,
Jazz,
Crystal, Jazz, all of them. So if you want to go talk to them in the chat, not us using our friends as plugs.
They're them watching this later on, like
with the eyes,
the eyes of the mouth.
We love you guys. Y'all are amazing. Thank you for staking this long. We'll see you guys next time.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.